Hello everyone and welcome back to channel once again. And as you guys know that for season 14 a new cup has been introduced which rotation is going to start tomorrow, to which is going to be the new spring cup. So for in this video we are going to break down the meta over here to get a simplified format or simplified teams and Pokemons that is going to be really strong in this cup. So for spring cup, the eligible Pokemon that are allowed here is going to be water, fairy and grass over here, with a ban on Toxapex in this scenario. So Toxapex is banned for it's good reason, because being poison and water, it can handle grass and fairy as well, and since it is very bulky, it can handle out some of the water Pokemons as well. So that is the reason it is banned, which totally makes sense. And starting off with the meta over here, it's going to be, I think, dominated by a Pokemon which is not very relevant in other, that typing is not very relevant in this cup, which is going to be the Canadian Weezing. So as you guys can see, the bottom Pokemons over here, which consist of Canadian Weezing, Mobile over here, Alolan Ninetales and Tentacruel over here. So Tentacruel not being fairy, but I have kept it in this group because of the poison dominance for the Tentacruel, because it can handle the grass Pokemons in this scenario. So Galarian Weezing is actually the top Pokemon that is ranked on PvPoke because of its access to Fairy Wind, Brutal Swing and Overheat, which can handle grass, which can handle fairies, and it can handle it can do neutral damage to waters as well. So that is the reason it is ranked top, but to which it does lose out to some of the water types, which is most likely going to be Wolverine, having access to Earthquake, Lantern, which is very bulky and having access to Surf and Thunderbolt, and might be Swampert to some extent in shield scenarios, to which this fairy type over here is going to handle out the grass, because we have part ice, Mobile with Fire Fang and Ice Fang as well, and Tentacruel with Poison Jab and Acid Spray, and Galarian Weezing is already there. So this is the fairy typing that will handle the grass type. And moving on with the grass type, we have got a few high ranked Pokemons as well, which is going to be Abomasnow and Ferrothorn over here. So Ferrothorn is actually very strong in this meta because of the part steel type that does resist fairy as well, fairy and grass as well. So the only thing that they have to watch out is going to be the fire moves over here, maybe from a Mobile or maybe from a Galarian Weezing in this scenario. Apart from that, we have Abomasnow, which is really strong against grass and water and do nice neutral damage to fairies as well. But in this scenario, since fairies are actually part steel or maybe part poison, it does neutralize those damage in this cup. So apart from it, we have got few more options, maybe Venusaur, which is ranked like quite low, but nevertheless it's still strong. Apart from it, we have got Trevenant, which is absolutely a monstrous pick because it can handle grass, it can handle water, and it can handle fairies to a certain extent as well. And with addition of Jump Love, which is going to be handling grass and water as well, but it does struggle against the part steel types because it does not have any move that can hurt them. So that's basically the grass type, to which let's move into the next typing, which is going to be the water type, that is having the dominance of Swampert, Lapras, Lantern, Wolverine, Pelipper over here, and few more, maybe like Araquanid or few more which I haven't kept it over here. To these water types can handle out, some of them can handle out grass and some of them can handle out fairies as well. So it's going to be a really strong meta. So I first thought that it is going to be RPS once again, but it is not the case. Just like the Mountain Cup. So it's not the RPS, because we have certain code breakers over here in each of the typings allowed that can handle the other two typings which the whole type is actually weak against. So that's basically the meta over here. But apart from it, I have got a separate wild card entries over in this scenario, which is going to be really strong, and that is consisting of few Pokemons like Mantine over here, Araquanid, which are both water but can handle grass type, and to a certain extent fairies, but it will be getting walled against the Spark Steel type. So that is the reason Pelipper and Mantine is kind of same, but I have kept them differently. And the only reason for that is going to be bulk, because Mantine is slightly bulkier than Pelipper. So that is the reason I have kept it in the wild card. And apart from that, I have got Araquanid. It can handle it's so bulky that it can handle grass types as well, being water, but still it's not going to be that great. But yeah, I have kept that. But apart from it, we have got the same typing on Golisopod as well, but lack of its charge move variation is actually that's going to be the drawback for it. But apart from it, there is going to be the grass type, which is going to be Cradily, that can handle both waters and fairies to a certain extent, but not again getting the drawback onto the Spark Steel typings. But nevertheless, it's going to be strong. And the final Pokemon that I've kept in that section is going to be Seeking, as it have got access to Poison Jab that does super effective to fairies and grass types. Apart from it, it have got access to charge moves like Icy Wind that can handle neutral damage to grass, fairy, and does have access to Drillon as well, that is for neutral damage against the water type and super effective against the Part Steel type. So that is going to be the meta over here, but I have excluded some of the picks as well. That's going to be Tropius or maybe Lurantis or maybe some other typings like Dedenne is also a pick in this meta. So it's going to be variations of different Pokemons with this cup over here, but mostly the Pokemon that I've mentioned in the graphic over here is going to dominate the meta in this scenario. So after this meta, I'll be going into this some of the top teams or maybe some of the sample teams which I have made for you guys, which you can try out. And without further more delay, let's quickly jump into the team section over here. And for the first team, I have got a team of double grass line over in this scenario, which is going to be my Ferrothorn and my Abomasnow over here with a lead of Mantine. So since I have got two steel grass and grass ice, so it's going to be very weak to fire type moves or maybe weak to flying a bit. So that is the reason I have kept both of them in the back line to draw out a potential counter to that, and I can resist that with Mantine over here, because Mantine is actually weak to electric moves and like neutral to grass, but my backline does handle grass over here very efficiently. So moving on with the next team, so over here I've got a double water backline which is consisting of Araquanid and Dugong over here, with a safe swap of Dugong necessarily with a lead of Ferrothorn, because Ferrothorn is actually weak to fire type, maybe a Galarian Weezing, maybe to which it is going to be the worst hard possible counter for that. So that is the reason I have got two Pokemons in the backline that can handle the Galarian Weezing comfortably, because if you are safe swapping in a Dugong because of the Ice Shard and Icy Wind debuffs, you can potentially turn around matches over here in this scenario. Moving on to the third team, which I have got a double fairy lineup in the backline, but it's not a double fairy, it's going to be double poison over here. So I've got a lead of Lantern in this scenario and got the double poison type, which is a team that is going to be kind of weak to Swampert, but since Lantern is quite tanky and Tentacle is fairly tanky as well, so it can handle that. But apart from Lantern, there is no such code breakers for this team, but it can handle those because Lantern is going to be weak to grass, but my backline can actually handle grass very efficiently. So that is the reason I have came up with this team. Moving on with the next teams over here, so I figured it out that Lantern and Trevenant is going to be a really good core for this meta because Lantern is actually weak to grass types, where Trevenant is actually be now weak to flying and partially weak to some of the fairies over here, maybe Mobile and Gradient Weezing, to which Lantern can actually handle that, and it can cover for Trevenant, and Trevenant can cover for Lantern. So that is the reason I came up with these two Pokemons in this scenario, and with the safe swap of Alolan and Ninetales in this scenario, because it's going to be since it's going to be Ice and Fairy, it's going to be most likely drawing out the potential part Poison type user for this cup, which will be very much helpful for Trevenant to sweep out in the end game. And for the next team, also for team 5, I'm also using this is not going to be ABB team style team, but it's going to be ABC, where I am using again the core of Trevenant and Lantern along with a closer of Galarian Weezing right now. So Galarian Weezing is very strong in this meta as it is ranked very high. So I thought of trying out a team where Galarian Weezing can like wipe out teams in the end game. So that is the reason I am again playing it as a closure in this scenario. Moving on with this 6th team or the final team for this sample team things, I am using double like it's not double water, it's double Shadow Claw user in the backline of Trevenant and Golisopod. So apart from Araquanid, it have got the same typing of Golisopod over here, but it's on the like okayish side because of the moveset of Aerial Ace and X Scissor. It can handle grass types, it can handle a bit of fairies as well, but not water. So that is the reason I have a water counter in the lead, which is going to be my Lantern, and since I'm weak in the back to flying types like part flyings and flying moves, so I have to resist that with my Lantern, which is going to play out the lead over here. So this will be the sample teams which I came up with, and I think Lantern and Trevenant is going to be a super core in this meta over here. Apart from Galarian Weezing, it's going to be really good. And I haven't come up with a team of Walrein, but I think I'll try out some more teams which is coming out of the box apart from the sample teams which I have come up with. So yes, that will be all. So that's it, meta simplified for Spring Cup and some of the sample teams for you guys that you can use up, and you can let me know how this is working out for you. So if you're liking this content onto this channel, do share it with your friends, like and subscribe, because that keeps me motivated and helps me posting newer and newer content as this season goes on, with different teams, different Pokemons, like different maybe cups as well. So yeah, so that will be all for this video, and see you again in the next one with new Spring Cup teams which I'll play out for the battles. And till then, peace.